Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Perfect. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning? Perfect. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Oji.
Perfect. OjyOkpe.
Good.
All right.
Very well.
Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. The whereabouts of President Bola Tinubu has taken center stage on social media after Vice President Shettima cancelled his trip to the United States on Monday, citing a fault in the presidential aircraft. The Vice President was originally scheduled to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 2024 U.S.-Africa Business Summit hosted by the Corporate Council on Africa. The intended trip would have left the country without a president and a vice president in charge, eliciting reactions from a cross-section of Nigerians, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who in a post on X asked if it was right to assume that Nigeria was on autopilot. Well, in a twist of events, the Vice President's media aide in a statement said Shettima was unable to make the trip following a technical fault with his aircraft, forcing him to make a detour on the advice of the Presidential Air Fleet, adding that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, will now represent the President at the high-profile summit in Dallas, Texas, while the Vice President will carry on with other national duties. Dr. Abati, we discussed this yesterday, and you know, we are seeing that the presidency, or rather, they are listening. I don't know if I should call it listening, but it appears to show that they are canceling this trip because of the Presidential Air Fleet, rather than the outcry of the country, or what we discussed yesterday. Let me take a tweet. This is from Hod, who wrote, "If you want to purchase a new aircraft, just say so. Stop trying to gaslight Nigerians with this aircraft error every 2 minutes between you and your Oga. Please, we are tired of all these gimmicks. We are waiting so that we will know where to start applying pressure." Well, Daniel Bola, I believe, was responding to Atiku Abubakar's tweet, who questioned whether or not Nigeria is on autopilot. Well, he wrote, "President Tinubu is in charge of the country and can govern from anywhere in the world, whether the vice president is also in Nigeria or not. Aso Villa is not a block industry, and the president is not a bricklayer. Read Section 5 of the Constitution." I get, you know, I'm coming to you, Dr. Abati. Section 5 of the Constitution, what does it say about the president?
Section 5 gives the president executive powers, and that he can delegate and all of authority and all of that. However, you know, there's something in intelligence circles they call cover story. You know, when government finds itself in a very delicate situation, the intelligence people will ask you to go and find a cover story. So I think that's what they are doing here. You know, the story that the VP's aircraft developed technical faults, that's just a cover story.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that it's not just one aircraft we have now. We have a fleet. You know, the presidential fleet, if there is a technical fault with one aircraft, they can change to another one. You know, they can, and the president didn't travel with all the aircraft within the presidential fleet. But good cover story saying, oh, it has a technical fault. Now we're told the Minister of Foreign Affairs is going to the U.S. To represent Nigeria. Is he going to go on the back of a motorcycle to the United States? He will still go in an aircraft, not so, and it will be, you know, part of the fleet that will take him and his team to that conference. What I think is that this is a question of the government responding to criticism, and you know, the outcry was so much. We have not seen the president. I think it's up to a week now since he left Riyadh. And he's not here. And then the VP was also going to go to the U.S. without anybody telling us who will be in charge. And that's why I think people, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, complained. But it's good that government has responded, and they've found a very convenient way of saying that, you know, the VP would concentrate on national duties while the president is away. That's fine. That's okay. I don't know what Daniel Bola's matter is in this, saying that the president can govern from anywhere in the world. What kind of talk is that?
I've never seen anything like that.
I mean, governing from anywhere in the world. No. We voted for him here in Nigeria. he has a place of work. That place of work is Aso Villa. Now, if he wants to work in any part of Nigeria, that's fine. You can say, well, the president can choose to work from Lagos, he can choose to work from... but to say that the president of Nigeria can govern from anywhere in the world, emphasis, anywhere in the world. Okay, let the president of Nigeria govern us from Ukraine now. And then you come and tell us that Aso Villa is not a blocking us. In fact, Gaza. In fact, the president of Nigeria is a bricklayer in the real sense of it. So I disagree with Bola, because he has to deal with building blocks. Building blocks. After all, that's why they're always talking about security architecture. Security architecture. The architecture they are putting together since 8 years. Nobody has quite seen it. So Daniel Bola should not allow his enthusiasm, to get the better part of him. The place of work is Aso Villa. And Nigerians are saying the president of Nigeria cannot abandon work and go away on a wall. Go a wall. So that's why they're saying we want to see him. And Nigerians have every reason to ask the question. I think you said you have insider information that he will come today.
I was told he will come today. But we are still waiting. We still haven't heard from the presidency. We are looking at their tweets. But instead of the presidency to respond to this query, because Nigerians are querying the fact that the president is not here. They respond to other things, like the Lagos Coastal Highway. Quick to respond, very easy. And Bayo Onanuga had written a lengthy tweet responding to Atiku Abubakar's claim about, conflict of interest. And he wrote that, Tinubu is 38 years old, like you said yesterday, and it's not a conflict of interest. But what I found interesting in his tweet was the fact that he was able to detail some of the achievements of the President Tinubu's administration. Let me read some of it. Bayo Onanuga wrote, contrary to Atiku's claim, the Tinubu administration within its first year has attracted over 20 billion into the economy, while President Tinubu was in New Delhi, India, for the G20 summit last year, August. Indian business leaders committed over $14 billion in new investments. A substantial part of this sum is already in the country, in an unmistakable vote of confidence in the economic reforms being executed by the Tinubu administration. Foreign investment in Nigeria's stock market has ballooned from 18 billion naira in Q1 2023 to 93.37 billion naira in Q1 2024, an increase of 415%. The last time Nigeria saw such level of investment was in the first quarter of 2019, when 97.6 billion naira was invested. The market, since Tinubu came to power, has broken records and created more wealth for the investors. Well, during President Tinubu's recent trip to the Netherlands, the Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, announced a fresh 250 million investment by Dutch businesses in Nigeria.
I'm sorry, did you forget to add the $600 million investment of Maersk that he deleted it with? You should add that one to it.
He forgot to add that.
You're right.
You're absolutely right.
Please add that $600 million Maersk investment into it so that it will be part of the money they receive. Add it to, why did you add it to it now? And he keeps saying the pledge. When somebody pledge money, when you go abroad on this foreign trips, and somebody pledge money, it reminds me of when President Buhari say, "Sure are you?" When President Buhari say, "Sure are you?" Nothing will happen. So that's the way all this pledge. Ask Mr. Bayo Onanuga, are they in the FDI?
He said the Indian one has come.
Where is the money? So why is it not part of the FDI report already? Yeah, our stock market has done good. But you know what? Also why our stock market has done good? Because the currency has been devalued. And you know why? Our stocks are cheap as junk as we speak today. With over $100 million, $200 million, you can buy into blue chip companies in Nigeria. This was not the case before. You should also add Sanofi and other manufacturing companies that have left the country. It's not going to add that one. You should also add the success in Dubai. After diplomatic talks that maybe Nigerians are going back to Dubai again, we have visa. You should also add it to it. You should also add CNG cars that they claimed they were going to provide all this while that they've not provided. He should also add it to it. He should also add fight against corruption. We've not heard anything about them better Edu's case till date. He should also add it to it. He should also add many companies that are shutting down because of the order of the day, because of the devaluation of the currency. He said it's old news that our economy is now number 4 in Africa, really, because we devalued our currency and we devalued the lives of people. He should also not forget that this same Atiku Abubakar is abusing. When Atiku Abubakar was vice president with President Obasanjo, the economy grew 13%. How much have we grown under them? So he should also add the Maersk deal and many other deals to him. You see, Oji, it is crystal clear that the handlers of this government, and please, President Tinubu, with due respect, do something about these handlers. Let them come out straight. Today, I'd like to pay tribute to a great woman called Dora Akoyele. When a time came like this, and the health of Yaradua was front burner, Dora Akoyele came out to say, I'm Minister for Information and I have no information. They should tell us where the president is.
That's actually the question.
Dr. Abati, one point you did not make is that it's also bad for national security that the president of a sovereign state is in a foreign land. It's also very bad for national security. That's how we all collectively condemned President Buhari when he spent almost half of the year outside. These were those that condemned President Yaradua. These were those that did the Occupy Nigeria. But now, I see my friend Daniel Bola say, a president can lead from any part of the world. Then it's fine. You should go and open office in Rafah and Gaza and start from there.
That's scandalous, really.
Let's stop all of this now.
Just respond to Nigeria.
Let's stop all of this. It's not fair.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That's really the question out there. We'll take another story. River State Governor Sim Fubara on Monday opened up about the peace accord brokered by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the political crisis that erupted in the state last year, calling it unconstitutional. Fubara made the comments when he received a delegation of political and traditional leaders from Bayelsa State. The governor also slammed the members of the State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amumule, and declared that the 27 lawmakers do not exist anymore in the eyes of the law. Let's take a look.
The young people, those group of men who claim that are assembly members, are not assembly members. They are not existing. I want it to be on record. I accepted that peace accord. I accepted that peace accord to give them a floating. That is the truth. There was nothing in that peace accord that's a constitutional issue. It's a political solution to a problem. And I accepted it because these were people that were eating in my house. These were people that have helped pay their children's school fees when I wasn't even a governor. So what is the thing there? Yeah, we might have a division, but I believe that one day we could also come together. And that was the reason I did it. But I think it's according to a time when I need to make a statement on this thing, so that they understand that they're not existing. Their existence is me allowing them to exist. If I de-recognize them, they are nowhere. That's the truth. So, I want you to see the sacrifice I've made in the cause of allowing peace to be in our state.
All right, the lawmakers don't exist anymore. Well, I'm coming to you on the story. I mean, I believe last week or this week, the lawmakers had accused him of, financial irresponsibility and reckless spending and all of that. But it appears to show that he is in charge at this point. Let me take Spotlight Abby's tweet. She wrote, Sim Fubara celebrated his Supreme Court victory last week, and today he's already reshuffled his cabinet and sent out subtle warnings to Wike. I love it. Sim stooped to conquer. Let's see what Wike has up his sleeves. Rivers, no be Lagos. Go ahead.
Sim man has found his raw. Sim has found
Oh,
his voice.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
He has
That's
found
from the
his-
Lion King, right?
Yeah, Simba. Well, Sim has found his raw, and I'm just watching and looking at this, the governor, and thinking, oh, interesting. Because this peace accord he's speaking against now, he was very silent about it. I rightly pointed out by Spotlight Abbey that he didn't say anything whilst his case was still in court, and his position was still not, wasn't yet secure. However, I want to just touch on something, and I don't know who the people in the audience were who are applauding what he said. Last I remembered, the governor cannot be the executive, legislature, and judiciary all in one position. He has to respect the Constitution. I don't know which Constitution he was speaking out from by dismissing the legislators and the powers of the legislator. I think that's a very slippery and dangerous slope to follow, because we keep talking about the respecting the rule of law. We keep talking about upholding the tenets of democracy. And if we're going to do that, even if he has personal issues with them, he must recognize them as constitutionally, responsible for making laws and holding him to account. Yes, we understand that there's politics involved and all that, but he must be able to speak and respect. So I don't know why people were clapping about that. When he favors people, they are quick to just dismiss, the rule of law. But when it doesn't favor them, then they begin to speak, oh, don't respect that. So I think that was a very, very, not very careful statement to have made from the governor himself. In terms of how things will play out, Oji, to be honest, I'm not really sure. These are early days. He wasn't speaking out before. People were urging him to speak, but now he's, being firing on.
Yeah.
I'm not yet convinced yet. What the Rivers people want is let him govern the state and let him respect the rule of law. I think that's very important.
Well, all right.
Okay, you said, you were reading a tweet, Abid's tweet, I think. You said, Sim Fubara stooped to conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's a play titled She Stoops to Conquer.
Absolutely.
Oliver Goldsmith, 18th century
Yes.
English literature. Standard text in theater classes, in the dramatic literature classes. But while it is good to stoop to conquer, I think Sir Sim Fubara should also be careful some of the things he says. Now, he says that agreement is unconstitutional. And all that. He was seriously criticized for signing. So he should take ownership of what he did. He signed it. He said it's because of peace. He has made a lot of sacrifice. Yes. Fine. But it's on record that he signed it. In other words, he signed something that he knew was unconstitutional, was unlawful. Only to turn around now and say he signed it in order to make sacrifice. That doesn't sound intelligent to me. Now, second point, he says that this Rivers State House of Assembly does not exist. He said they exist because of me. What kind of talk is that? All these characters, do they even... Look, the Rivers State House of Assembly is not Sim Fubara's creation. It's a creation of law. Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution creates legislature. So no legislative assembly owes its existence to any individual. Not even the National Assembly owes its existence to President Bola Tinubu. It's a creation of law. Now, and we have separation of powers under the Constitution. What we will recommend is that Governor Fubara should find a way of working with the Rivers State House of Assembly, because they are there doing their own work under the Constitution. They may be playing politics, but still, they must find a way to work together in the interest of the people of Rivers State.
Yes.
They are accusing him of financial recklessness. They are accusing him of spending without appropriation. They simply have to work together. Because if he is insisting that they do not exist, they too will insist on doing their job. As for his relationship with Nyesom Wike, former governor of the state, he said, well, he recognizes what Governor Wike did, but that he is not ready to worship any man. Fine, that is his choice. Okay? Whatever they do, governance should be the main focus for both the government and the people of Rivers State.
All right,
the people laughing should advise him appropriately about the right thing to focus upon.
All right. We'll take another story. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has reacted to reports alleging that the Lagos State government is deporting alleged miscreants reported to be indigents of Osun State From Lagos to the Ilesha area of the state, over the weekend, reports emerged online stating that the Nigerian police force, in conjunction with the Lagos task force, deported hundreds of residents using luxurious buses from the streets of Lagos and dumped them in Osun State. Well, in a statement released by Adeleke's media aide, both governors have interfaced and have expressed concern over the report. Adeleke has urged Sanwo-Olu to look into the report and put an end to it if the report were to be true. Sanwo-Olu, on the other hand, has denied ever authorizing such an action and promised an immediate investigation. Well, here is a video of the alleged Osun indigenes, which made the rounds over the weekend.
Well, we plenty, even outside today among us. You see. Before Morocco, they don't allow us to talk, they call our phone. Anything, they just can't drop us for Osun, from Lagos to Osun, and not do anything. See, nowhere slippers, nothing, since yesterday. Man, even say Aboki. See outside. Some people don't go, some people don't, they use leg, they trek go Lagos back.
All right, this video made the rounds over the weekend. I'm glad that the two governors are interfacing, but you know, it's a big message at this moment and it got a lot of reactions. Let me take this from Peter Obi, who expressed worry, and he wrote on Twitter, "I find this action very distasteful because of the far-reaching effects it will have on our national cohesion and development. As a pan-Nigerian advocate, I vehemently oppose any form of discrimination, injustice, or violation of our citizens' rights. Every Nigerian, irrespective of their state of origin or place of residence, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Let us always remember that we are all Nigerians, united by a common destiny, and that is our collective duty to uphold the values of unity, fairness, justice, and stand against any form of discrimination or injustice. Our Constitution guarantees every Nigerian citizen the right to reside and find livelihood in any and every part of the Federation." Rufai.
Well, this is something that we need to look at critically. Osun indigene deported from Lagos State. We have had a case like this many years ago, although it was not Osun indigenes. And I remember that I think that matter concerned Peter Obi then. And I think then it was Fashola that was the governor, if my memory serves me right. And conversations were had about the matter. At first, the Lagos State needs to be able to get some clarification out there as regards why we take people, if this country is supposed to accept everybody, and if people from, irrespective of your part of the country, should be given a right to be able to stay in any part of the country. They must be able to make explanation as regards why they made this mass deportation and took them to places around Buri and dropped them in different places in Osun, Ilesha area. That's number one. Number two, I think both governors need to sit as regards this matter and have conversations as around this, because I think there's more that meets the eye. The optics alone does not look good, but the truth has to be said. I think there are more issues that are in there that are deeper than what we see on the surface. So we'll be waiting to hear more from the Lagos State government.
All right, I just got a note from Gbenga Omotosho, who wrote, the statewide exercise to free Lagos of visible security risk has continued after the arrest of some suspect on that Dolphin Bridge estate. The continuing influx of miscreants, beggars, and destitute on the streets of Lagos has raised fears of insecurity of lives and property. This is unacceptable. We read this yesterday. Yeah. As part of the exercise, 450 miscreants were recently rescued. Of the lot, 371 pleaded for assistance to relocate to their various states due to the hardship they are facing in Lagos. 79 have been absorbed into some government facilities for rehabilitation after showing signs of being unwell. The exercise will continue as part of the government's responsibility to keep our citizens safe and secure. So that video, yeah, go ahead.
But there are two different things.
There are two different things. But I believe what they are saying here is that 371 pleaded for assistance to relocate to their various states. This
Yes,
is
but
different.
so this dolphin,
because I
this
called him,
happened in Ajah.
and this is what he sent
The
me.
reports of the Osun indigenous happened in Ajah side of Lagos State, not the dolphin. I saw that statement as well.
Yes.
And the Osun State
The
governor.
governor is about squatters.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
we read the
squatters.
story.
Under the bridge and
Yeah.
also at the
We
Lagos
reported
Tower.
the
Yeah.
story
But
yesterday.
it's a different
Well, the
story.
We
Osun
reported the
indigenous,
story yesterday.
well, and they didn't ask, from the reports we got, they didn't ask to be relocated. In fact, some people said they were, just moving around, and then they were taken in the bus
In
and
luxurious
in buses,
buses, yes.
and moved to Osun State and put in, dropped at different areas. The Osun State governor said he's spoken to the Lagos State governor, and they're investigating.
They're investigating.
It's important to mention that initial report said that the Lagos State government authorized the arrest, but the Lagos State governor has said in that interaction with the Osun State governor that he wasn't aware of that and that he will investigate what happened. I believe that we should wait for the reports of that investigation, because we must get to the bottom of this. It's not constitutional.
Finally, in less than a second, the point made by Mr. Peter
Absolutely.
is a constitutional point. Section 41 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of movement. It says every citizen of Nigeria can move freely around
Absolutely.
anywhere in Nigeria
That's the
and
point.
can reside anywhere.
That's the
so
point.
nobody can say people cannot live in Lagos. Or until they will make mistake one day, they will deport some people I know out of Lagos.
I know you're calling Ojyokpe in your mind.
I've not mentioned anybody.
They can't try it. Just know that.
But the Lagos State government has said he did not give any such directive.
No.
And I believe him.
Okay.
The people who have been mentioned in this story is Lagos State Task Force
Yes.
and police. That task force, the governor should take a look at them.
Right.
The way they behave around town is questionable.
Absolutely.
But I believe the governor, may not have given any directive.
Absolutely. We're waiting for the investigation. Well, I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. But that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.